Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of lighting in this very janky scene that I've made. I'm also going to go through and just delete any random unused textures. In this case, I know they're unused because I've not labeled them. Just go ahead and delete all of them. Tra-la-la. Cool. Better organization. Oops, except for that. Cool, we're about to have a cloth blender, because that makes sense. Okay. So lighting. Anyway. By the way, here's again the outliner. So there's like some different random stuff in the outliner. You can see the sort of default grid. Ooh. Oh, I can't stand moving in this. You can also... oh, that's what it was. You can hold any mouse button and do WASD to move. And it follows like basic game controls, so that honestly is like kind of easier. If not very jerky, so hopefully that doesn't make anyone sick. Alright, but anywho, so we have different stuff you can turn on and off. They have like the default floor that comes in. There's the default skylight, which is just sort of the random light that they're using. So you can turn off any of this stuff at any time. So I want to show you, just go into the lighting tab. If you, they turned it off, of course they did. If you want to throw in another skylight, you can do that here. The scene will flag errors if you have more than one skylight. So let me just go ahead and I'll turn off the original one, sort of show you what this does. If we do light color, we can change it to this really god-awful fuchsia color because that's a great idea. And there's different, you know, assorted brightnesses, or assorted, what am I saying? Sorry. Settings, things, as there would be in Maya. So again, we have like different settings for brightnesses, which is a little bit dodgy apparently to look at just like from the viewport, because it's again like it'll change if you get into the scene. You can see it just sort of slowly getting brighter. So just be aware of that as a thing. So that's basically if you want to make a new skylight. If you want to, I'll leave this. I kind of like how terrible it is. If you want to add an HDRI in, there's a weird thing that you have to do, and that is go into Edit, Plugins, and search for HDRI. Backdrop. Enabled, darn it. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this in a separate video. What are you doing? No. Okay. Separate video on HDRIs. So for now, there's different types of lights, and they behave the same way, as far as I can tell, as the default Maya lights. Amazing. Alright, so there's the directional light, and that is basically going to, by the way, the same hotkeys for translate, rotate, scale, so W, E, R. All of that still works in Unity, same thing as it is in Maya. So directional light is basically going to be a light that just points in a direction, basically. It doesn't degrade over time, it's just sort of there. It can be a decent way if you just want to like get light through a window or like get light, you know, coming through the side of your scene. You can do that fairly easily with directional lights. So that is a directional light. Again, if you want to change any of the random settings, you can turn off visibility, turns off the light. You should, I think, unless I'm going crazy, so turning off visibility here will leave it shown up here. It just won't render in your scene, whereas if, I think, it seems to me that if you turn this off, sometimes it will still render in your scene. It's mostly just like a viewport thing. So either way, I'm going to go ahead and actually just delete that directional light because it's weird. Point light is going to be a light coming from one point in space, going out in all directions. So, this is really good for things like light bulbs. So I'm actually just going to start sort of lighting the scene in a really goofy, silly goofy way. So this is going to be my light bulb in the sky. So you can see it makes like a nice, I say nice, but it makes a hot spot on there. If you want, you can also theoretically play with a few of the settings to sort of change the overall shape. You can turn off cast shadows if you want. Don't usually recommend that as a thing. But you can also change the light color, so I'm going to make this slightly orangey. to maybe feel like a gross sort of old fluorescent bulb. Or not a fluorescent bulb? Incandescent bulb is what I'm going for. There's also the rectangle lights, so this would be handy if you wanted to make something that is sort of window shaped. You know, imagine you had a window over here. You get that really sort of obvious spot there. You know, it's just a sort of generic rectangular light. They also have spotlights, which is like my favorite light ever. I love spotlights. I am a sucker for them. I'm also still very bad at navigating in Unreal. So what I had in my original scene is just sort of a bunch of lights under the cabinets, as if they had, ooh lord, as if they had under the cabinet lighting. So I'm honestly just going to go through and set a few of those things up. If you guys are interested and want to hang out and just like watch me derp around terribly in Unreal, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, I will be back with another video about HDRI stuff shortly. But that is the end of useful information about lighting immediately. Oh wait, no, sorry, there was one more thing. There is, if you scroll down into light profiles, place to map in IES light textures. I have some other videos about them, but basically it's just like nicer light profiles for your lights. They can be downloaded online if you just Google IES textures. There's like a bajillion that you can download for free, but they make your lights look a little bit more refined and nice. So I'll probably throw some of them in at some point for grins. But that is actually the end of useful things that I had to say. I'm just going to go ahead and set up some of these random lights.